Hello, I'm Sandra Fischel Booth, Director of Grant Making at the Winston-Salem Foundation. During this webinar, I'll be sharing our Community Grants Framework so you can become familiar with our grant-making strategic direction. We took time to pause and listen, reflect, and align our community grants approach with our strategic direction and our commitment to improving economic mobility in Forsyth County. At the Winston-Salem Foundation, our mission is simple. We connect people, ideas, and resources, and we help turn those connections into action so Forsyth County can have a brighter future for everyone who calls it home. Our mission is a vibrant, sustainable Forsyth County where everyone can succeed and where race doesn't predict who has access to opportunity or how people fare. A few core beliefs guide how we show up in this work. We believe relationships are our most valuable resource, equity makes our vision possible, learning is ongoing, and philanthropy can be a powerful tool for change. Everything you'll hear about our framework flows from that mission, vision, and those beliefs, including how we're updating and using our community grants framework. As you listen, I invite you to notice where your organization work connects and where you're already building relationships, advancing equity, and learning alongside community. This graphic is called the Waters of Systems Change, and it's a simple picture of what it takes to create lasting change in a community. Usually, what gets most of our attention are the things we can see and measure: policies, practices, and resource flows. Those matter, but they are only part of a picture. But the graphic also points to deeper forces that are easier to miss, even though they shape everything we see: the relationships and connections that determine what's possible, the power dynamics that influence who gets heard and who benefits, and the mental models and stories and assumptions that guide decisions, policies, and systems. Our Community Grants Framework is designed to support work across all of these layers, from meeting immediate needs to changing the conditions that drive economic mobility over time. You'll see that in how we center lived experience and community leadership, and in how we value collaboration and root cause approaches, not just short-term fixes. Here's a big picture of our Community Grants Framework. Across all areas of our grant making, we aim to be led by community members who have experienced systemic inequities that have created barriers to economic mobility. We organize this work around 4 priorities: equity in education, inclusive economy, housing, and civic engagement and inclusion. 2 of these areas, equity in education and inclusive economy, will look familiar to most of you. We'll continue to support and strengthen partnerships in both. We've also expanded our framework to name 2 additional portfolios. The addition of housing reflects the essential role that safe, stable, and affordable homes play in individual and community well-being. Housing is a foundation for health, economic mobility, and long-term opportunity. And the decision to include civic engagement and inclusion reflects something we've heard consistently from community. Progress depends on an engaged and informed populace that values and is prepared to participate in collective action. Let's start with equity in education. Our vision is that every student in Forsyth County has access to a welcoming, high-quality education that prepares them to thrive. In this portfolio, we prioritize a few strategies: supporting academic rigor and enrichment, promoting a culture of compassionate discipline, and diversifying the educator workforce. When we say welcoming and effective, we're thinking about both learning outcomes and the day-to-day experience of students and families, especially those who have been historically marginalized. Our primary partner in this work is Winston-Salem Forsyth County Schools, along with partners who support these strategies and help strengthen our public school ecosystem. It's also important to say that our equity in education grant making is proactive. These opportunities are not application-based. Because this work is focused on systems change, it doesn't lend itself to short-term application-driven grant cycles. Instead, we build longer-term partnerships and investments where community has identified a need, an opportunity, or a point of leverage for change. Inclusive economy is about making sure more people in Forsyth County can earn good wages, build financial stability, and grow wealth. We focus on two connected strategies: improving access to high-wage employment and addressing barriers to career mobility, and creating opportunities for wealth building, particularly through BIPOC business ownership and through credit building supports for residents. You can think about this as a two-part approach: near-term stability through better wages and mobility, and long-term opportunity through wealth-building assets. We're especially interested in work that increases access to living wage careers and removes structural barriers like childcare and transportation gaps and discriminatory lending practices that create durable pathways for people who've been excluded from opportunity. We also pay attention to how efforts are designed with the people they're meant to serve and how partners collaborate so residents don't experience fragmented systems. One important note on process: like equity in education, our inclusive economy grant making is proactive. These opportunities are not application-based. Housing and civic engagement and inclusion, on the other hand, are the areas where organizations will apply through our grant application process. Housing is grounded in a simple reality. Stable, affordable housing is foundational to health, education success, and economic mobility. Our vision is that Forsyth County has an abundance of safe, accessible, and healthy homes where residents thrive. We're focusing on three strategies: preserving and expanding affordable housing opportunities, expanding homeowner readiness and successful homeownership, and promoting cross-sector collaboration so housing priorities, policies, and resources are aligned. You'll hear us use language like cross-sector collaboration because the housing system spans nonprofits, government, developers, lenders, and resident leaders, and progress requires coordination. Overall, we're interested in efforts that connect immediate stability with long-term opportunity. For example, preventing housing loss while also expanding access to permanent, affordable homes and ownership pathways. The Winston-Salem Foundation's Community Grants Framework includes a priority of civic engagement and inclusion. Our vision is that community members are connected through shared experiences and are equipped with knowledge, tools, and power to shape decisions and policies that affect their lives. We believe that a civically engaged community where residents work together toward collective action and community-led organizations are supported strengthens our democracy, builds hope, and supports solutions that address root causes. As we move into the application process, I want to name a few principles that guide how we approach grant making across all four priorities. First, we keep a clear focus on racial equity. That means we pay attention to who has historically had access to opportunity and resources in Forsyth County and who has not. And we look for work that supports the aspirations of residents, their families, and their communities. We also prioritize organizations and efforts that center people most impacted, address root causes, and advance systems levels change, serve historically marginalized communities, and take asset-based approaches that build on community strengths. Finally, we value collaboration to achieve shared outcomes, and we value a commitment to learning and improvement. We know this work is complex, and we want to keep learning alongside our partners about what's working, what's changing, and what community is telling us we need next.